Welcome to July together. Happy July 2025. Let's take a moment to take a deep breath before we get into the poetry for this month. Two more. One more. So, just starting off before we get into the poetry, I want to share that I feel like July is asking me or calling me to dance and do more movement. I don't know why, but I've been seeing it in emails that I've been receiving, just reading other people's newsletters, plus just some reminders that I think just to like practice something new for my body. It's not something new because I enjoy dancing, it's just I haven't done it in a while. And so maybe through YouTube videos, maybe through just putting on a song and just moving my body, I think that's what's being called for me this month. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to listen to that and see where it takes me. But without further ado, let's get into July's poem from my poetry calendar, Stay at Home Calls for Poetry. All right, drum roll, please. So this is what it looks like, my calendar, and we are in July. So just so you know, this is from my poetry book, Stay at Home Calls for Poetry, and then I took snippets of longer poems and put it into a calendar. So let's see what July says. I'm going to show you first. All right. I miss you. Time moves, burdened but still laughing. Kiss, family, home, love. I'll read it one more time. I miss you. Time moves, burdened but still laughing. Kiss, family, home, love. And so I definitely put this in for other people that might miss someone, because at this time I do not miss someone, but my first thought that came to mind, like I just referenced dancing, I do miss dancing. So it doesn't have to be just someone, it could be something you miss. And then how time moves. We're burdened with many things maybe going on in our life, but still laughing. Kiss. Maybe you have someone to kiss. It could be a pet. It could be a baby. It could be your family member. It could be your partner or your loved one. Family. Thinking about family in whatever way that comes up for you. Home. Just about house. Maybe about moving. Maybe about comfort in homes. Maybe about your old family home where you grew up, and then we end with love, and just how do we feel loved, how love is given or spread in families or in friendship or around us or in community. So yeah, that's interesting. It's definitely an interesting poem for July. I feel like I would have to reflect more to know how I'm taking this poem in, but I like it in a different way because it is different. But I still feel it's important and something to reflect on for this month in July. So now I have two more poems to share with you, not by myself. So last month I was introduced to the Golden Shovel poem, and so I'd like to read to you a part from the Golden Shovel because this came about from a poet named Terrence Hayes. And I had never heard of or read anything to my knowledge by Terrence Hayes, but he is who started the Golden Shovel. It's not a trend, but just the Golden Shovel poetry style and genre. And it's because he made a poem after Gwendolyn Brooks. And his poem is broken into two parts, but I'm going to read the second part because the second part stood out to me more by the style of how he ended words and connected them with the next line. And so I thought it was very well done and unique. But to tell you what a Golden Shovel poem is, I may butcher it, but for example, it's finding a line from another poet's poem, or it could be a song lyric, or a quote from someone that stands out to you. So I'm just going to make up one to give an example. He flutters slowly in a breeze. He flutters slowly in a breeze. And so then my poem that I make has to end with each word from that line. So for example, blah, 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 he, wah, 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 flutters, yep, 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 slowly, in, ma, 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 wah, 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 breeze, I think I ended with. So he flutters slowly in a breeze is each last word for each line of the poem. And so it connects, but it doesn't have to be about that quote. It's just seeing where the lines take you while trying to use these words. And so it's very interesting style. And it definitely stands out. But I want to read you part 2 of Terrence Hayes' poem. So the title is The Golden Shovel by Terrence Hayes, after Gwendolyn Brooks. Part 2, 1991. Into the tented city we go, weakened by the fire's ethereal. I think I said ethereal is correct, or ethereal. I can't remember. Afterglow. Born lost and cooler than heartache. What we know is what we know. The left, hand severed and schooled by cleverness. A plate of weekdays cooking. The hour lurking in the afterglow. A late night chant. Into the city we go. Close your eyes and strike a blow. Light can be straightened by its shadow. What we break is what we hold. A singular blue note, an outcry singed, exiting the throat. We push until we thinking we won't creep back again. While God licks his kin, we sing until our blood is jazz. We swing from June to June. We sweat to keep from weeping. Groomed on a diet of hunger, we end too soon. So I'm definitely going to have it popped up here so you can see it more clearly, and definitely reread it for yourself. But I like singular, it. So like the word is finished on the next line. And I think it's very unique when poets do this, as well as it being well done. And when I first read this, for some reason, it just made me think Sinners. The vibe felt like about jazz, about fire, about death, about diet of hunger we end too soon. Like that last line is just June to June, hot weather. It's something about it that just made me think of like Sinners, them trying to embrace like joy, music, but things end too soon and things just happening. And then singing is talked about throughout the second half. But I would have to reread it again to know maybe what else stands out to me. So 1 second. So yeah, a lot of lines stand out to me rereading it. We push until we thin, thinking we won't creep back again. Light can be straightened by its shadow. What we break is what we hold, a singular blue note. The hour lurking in the afterglow, a late night chant, into the city we go. So like city versus being in the outskirts, or just not being in the city, but the interest being when going to the city. That's very interesting. Born lost and cooler than heartache. What we know is what we know. So yeah, a lot is just interesting about body, about celebration, or embracing like weekends versus weekdays. Embracing, maybe it feels like we have to enjoy this now because we won't come back, but they do end up coming back, but it doesn't feel like they'll have that ability in the time. So enjoy it now while you still can, kind of vibes. But I'm not sure, because again, you would have to also understand this by reading the first half. And so definitely take the time to check out this poem. I just wanted to share the second half because it stood out to me and it was very interesting. How it was written, as well as what came up for me, and as well as how it kind of made me have like a sinner's thought process. So yeah. And then the last poem I like to share with you is by a person, I believe their name is Rod Sherwin, but on Medium, I think they go by Attempted Poetry. And so I just randomly found this poem when I was looking for Golden Shovel, but this is not a Golden Shovel poem at all to my knowledge. But I would just like to read this poem to you. I believe it's untitled. And again, it's by Rod Sherwin. Attempted Poetry. A busy city street, the churn of pedestrians. A face emerges, coming towards you. It takes a moment for recognition to kick in. Now shoulder to shoulder, going opposite directions. You raise a hand to wave. They are past you now. Then they make the connection. You look back over your shoulder. Big smiles are swapped. A moment to cherish. And I like this poem because it's so like natural. It's like you're just walking in the street in a busy city, and then it's like, wait, I know that person, but your realization doesn't come to you until like you're shoulder to shoulder or you're already passing. So then you do a double take, you turn around, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's you, cool. You smile, but it's like you guys are still have wherever you need to get to still do, and so you can't really stop, or maybe you do. We don't know the aftermath of it. It just ends with big smiles are swapped, a moment to cherish. So maybe they do stop and catch up, or maybe they can't, but at least they recognize each other and acknowledge each other, and smiles do tend to happen when it's like, oh wait, I know you, hi, or you can't talk, but yeah. And so I thought it was very natural. Like, this is a very like, it can happen to anyone, and it's so well done, but it's so simple, but still worded in a way that's very poetic, as well as very relatable, and just well done. So I wanted to share it. So yeah, definitely let me know what comes up for you when hearing these poems. This is July's poetry class. Thank you so much for listening and joining me. And don't forget, just write your story, and take care.